Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
All right, and Michaela is singing, so that means we are back in the lobby bar for the week of March the 25th, 2024. Brian and Michaela here with you as always. And Michaela, we are making our way into the spring. Although it's a bit chilly this week, there is a nip in the air for sure. But come springtime, everyone tries to do the same things, right? You try to get outdoors a little bit more. You try to start eating better. At least I do. And that means you're going to the store all the time, buying up some berries. And problem is, you always have a couple left over. So I thought for our lobby bar cocktail this week, we're going to make a Kentucky Buck that features some strawberries in there. Going to be perfect for a chilly day, but also perfect for a springtime cocktail. Here, what do you think? What do you think about a Kentucky Buck, Michaela? It is the year of bourbon for you, so.
I've never heard of a Kentucky Buck, so I am very excited for you to tell me all about it. It looks beautiful. It is right up my alley. It's like this effervescent red color.
Mhm.
So yeah, tell me all the things. How do we make one of these?
That's right. So a Kentucky Buck, it comes from a class of cocktail called the Buck. We talked about it a little bit last week when we did the Irish Buck there, the Jameson and ginger ale. So it's the same kind of thing, right? So it's a little bit of lime juice, your ginger ale or ginger beer, and then some kind of spirit. So this is a Kentucky Buck. So obviously it's going to be using bourbon as the base ingredients, but this one is a little bit fancier. Nothing like too out of the ordinary for a nice lobby bar cocktail, but it's going to jazz it up just a little bit, so you can feel good about the effort you put into this without doing a lot of work. And those are the things that we love here at Drink the Movies. So what you're going to do, Michaela, into a shaker tin, go ahead and put in two strawberries and a half ounce of simple syrup, and go ahead and muddle those strawberries. Get the juices out of there, get the oils out of the strawberry, bust it up out of the skin there. Get that muddled, and then you're going to add to that 2 ounces of bourbon. Three-quarters of an ounce of fresh lemon juice, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Go ahead and shake that with some ice and strain it into a nice, either like a rocks glass or a Collins glass, filled with ice. And then top that off with some ginger beer. Garnish it with the strawberry. It's going to look fancy. It's going to look a little red. Have a nice kind of richness to it from the bourbon. Perfect drink for this time of year, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and it's delicious, I have to say. So the key here, I think we should talk about the bourbon that you choose. So
Hmm.
as you know, I happen to be married to this guy who likes really high proof bourbon. It's like really expensive. Okay. I would not
True.
necessarily recommend that for this,
No.
because I don't think that you will benefit from that sort of just super
Hmm.
alcohol forward, very boozy, kind of not pungentness, but like the way the high proof is, it's not going to help you, and it sort of will detract from all of the other beautiful stuff you got going on here. So just get some just regular Kentucky bourbon. Look,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. You don't have to spend a ton of money. Get your favorite normal, like on a random Tuesday kind of bourbon to use this, because I think that will settle it up nicely. It'll be a good balance.
Yeah, exactly. I always try to keep something on hand that's a little bit, kind of a lower price point, just a Maker's Mark or Elijah Craig, something like that in the $30 range. I like to keep one of those on hand just for making cocktails, and then yeah, of course, you have your fancy ones for fancy drinking, just over an ice cube or straight, however you like to do that. But yeah, this Kentucky Buck, I thought that was great as we explore your year of whiskeys. Hopefully, that's going to be a good one for you here as we get into the springtime. What else is good going into the springtime? Like I mentioned, Michaela, there is a bit of a nip in the air still, and maybe that is coming from Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. We haven't made it out to see it yet, but a lot of people have. $45.2 million here over its opening weekend, so pretty good. You and I are headed out to see it later this week. We're going to be talking about it on our Patreon, and maybe getting into the classic Ghostbusters 2 on the main show here in just a couple of weeks. But pretty good return for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Have you heard any word on the streets about how this, I guess, second installment of this new Ghostbusters sort of storyline is going? We got
No,
it's like a new Ghostbusters, but it's also like the old Ghostbusters, right?
yeah.
Bill Murray and crew, everyone's back basically. So
Yeah, no, I heard that it was better than people expected. So I don't know if they just expected this to flop or what. Like,
okay.
I mean, look, I think when you have some of the original cast members of the 1980s and 1990, Ghostbusters in, it's probably going to be pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, because they're not gonna waste time. I mean, they don't got time to waste, right? These guys are in their 70s and they're like, I'm not
Yep.
gonna waste it on a script that I don't like. So I really think it's probably pretty well received, but I did hear though that there was an issue with the preview. So one preview makes it out to look completely different than another preview does.
Okay.
I don't know which one is which. So it'll be interesting. We're headed into the theater to see it this week, so we'll let you know.
That's right. Yeah, we are seeing it at our 4DX theater, so we'll be shaking around in the seats. They'll probably be blasting us in the face with some cold air, no doubt, there as we help the Ghostbusters fight their way through the Frozen Empire. Doom Part 2 comes in second, Kung Fu Panda 4, Immaculate, and Arthur the King rounding out the top five there. Doom Part 2, Michaela, we talked about that last week, got into the desert and the sand of it all, talking about that story there, and we talked about the 1984 version of Dune over on our Patreons, patreon.com/drinktomovies. That was a pretty good time, pretty good time. And you know what else is a pretty good time, Michaela? That's when you get wished away to some labyrinth of a place with the Goblin King. That's what we're talking about this week. You looking
That's
forward
right.
to going back into the labyrinth, Michaela?
I am, and I'll tell you why. Not that you asked, but I'm going to tell you why. There are three types
I
of
kind of
people who
asked.
grew up in the 80s. You did kind of ask. There
I
are
mean,
three types of
it was
people.
it was kind of one of the questions you asked that you don't really hope to get an answer for, but let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Aw. Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. There are three types of people on this planet who grew up in the 80s. There are the
Okay.
people that watched Labyrinth and loved it. There are the people that watched The Dark Crystal and loved it. And there are the people that skipped both of those because they found both of them creepy and off-putting.
Mm,
You are one of those three. Everybody's one of those three.
everyone is, yeah.
And the answer, really, not that there's a riddle here, but the truth is that Labyrinth is way better than The Dark Crystal. And so I'm super excited to talk about it. It's a big part of my
Debatable.
childhood. Yeah, well, we'll debate that on the actual episode. So
Uh,
stay tuned, everybody, and
uh,
listen to our drop that's on Thursday because we're gonna get into all the things.
That's right. We're going to be talking about all the David Bowie songs, all the Labyrinth stuff coming this week on our main show. What do we got coming to the movie theater this week, Michaela? It is one that I'm not really that interested in seeing, but I have to say, a couple years back, I think when we very first started, like drink the movies, basically like there was that Godzilla versus Kong movie came out, and it was surprisingly pretty good. I guess this is the second installment of that. This is Godzilla X Kong, Godzilla times Kong. I don't really know how to read that title, but the new Empire. We're going down into like Skull Island at the center of the earth, coming back. Godzilla, King Kong, like team up, monster double feature sort of thing. I don't know. Could be terrible. Could be fun. I don't know. What do you think about Godzilla times Kong to the second degree?
I'm kind of excited. I mean, monster movies are great, and I feel like this is kind of the year we had Godzilla -1 earlier, right? And that was up for an
Yeah,
Oscar.
it won an Oscar. Yeah.
It won. It won. I was amazed that it won. But I love the idea of the little cute baby Kong that's in the previews. I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, it's a completely different species of ape. Um, it's like the brown one that's like super cute, and it would be like the size of your hand if it was normal size, but it's only the size of a large UV bus, you know?
It's only like gigantic. Yeah, it's kind of like Beneath the Planet of the Apes, except this is beneath the planet of people with Godzillas and Kongs
Right.
running around.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun time. I think it's going to do okay here. As Dune's going to start tailing off maybe a little bit. I don't know for sure. Let us know what you think about Godzilla X Kong if you're making your way out to see that, and let us know what you thought about Zoom Part 2. You've had a chance to watch that now, and hopefully have taken in the episode. So everyone out there, go ahead and grab yourself a bottle of yellow chartreuse. You're going to need that for the episode this week. Go ahead and try your hand at a Kentucky Buck. It's the good springtime recipe for you there. And we'll be back to talk about Labyrinth later this week. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Lobby Bar, and we'll talk to you next time.